slide over the seats or pull them up into the air. Don't call out or reach out to the animals while we're in the reserve. No loud, unusual noises. Keep your cameras ready. Hold tight to loose items. We're headed into Littlest Turry Forest. Oh my goodness, we have lots of luck already. Now over here to the left-hand side, the copper-colored antelopes are bongo. Now both male and female bongo have horns that slope backwards from their head, allows them to move freely through the trees without becoming entangled on any branches. Over to the right-hand side, we actually have two different animals over there. We have an okapi with the stripes on their legs. The other one, the dark brown with that that yellow stripe, is a yellow-backed diker. Now, diker in Afrikaans actually means diver. When they get scared, they will emit a shrill whistle and dive into the bushes for cover. Now the okapi, they're actually one of the shyest animals out here. Seeing the stripes on their legs, you may think they're related to zebra, but they're not. They're the only living relative of giraffe. They have the same skull structure, prehensile tongue. The male okapi even have ossicones, false horns like giraffes do. The stripes on their legs just mimic sunlight filtering through the trees. The light-tailed antelopes to the left are greater kudu. Those are female. They don't have horns. Only the males do. They're the second tallest antelope at about 55 inches tall at the tops of their shoulders. There is a black rhino across the watering hole to the left. Very rare sight to see anymore. There's only around 5,000 black rhinos left alive in the world today. Their only threat comes from humans. Highly poached for their horns. Those horns, though, they're just made of keratin, which is the same thing our hair and fingernails are made from. They have a triangular shaped upper lip, which is prehensile. It just means they can use it like fingers to grab food. They'll use their lip to pull their food to their mouths, also pick leaves off of trees and bushes. The largest animal in the forest, weighing around 3,000 pounds, but they are not the largest rhino species. Now we're going to head toward Safi River. I'm not seeing anything else in the forest visible anyways. So we're going to follow the river along on both our right and left sides, looking for different aquatic birds. Now crocodiles and Nile hippos. Now hippos are pretty hard to see when they're in the water. They can hold their breath, staying fully submerged up to 8 minutes at a time, even sleeping under the water, just rising to the top naturally to take a breath and sinking back down without waking up. Now when they move around in the water, they don't actually swim. They don't have that buoyancy. They are very dense. They will walk and run on river and lake bottoms. They'll use their front legs to kind of propel themselves along. Back legs usually just kind of float behind them, which does give them that illusion of swimming. Now they are one of the large, we have hippos to the left behind the island. Now they're not actually floating there, they're standing on a shallower part of the riverbeds. They're one of the largest land animals. The average size of a hippo is about 5 feet tall, 9 feet long, and around 5,000 pounds. Considered land animals because they'll come on land to feed. They're herbivores. They'll eat grasses, plants, and haze. The gray and white birds are pink-backed pelicans. They're actually one of the smallest pelican species with an average wingspan of about 8 feet wide, roughly the width of the canopy that's right above your head. They're actually named for the light pink spot that you can see on their back during their mating season. And we have Nile crocodile to the left-hand side. Alright, just make sure we do remain fully seated. Everybody does need to stay on a parent's lap if that's where we are. Thank you. Nile crocodile can reach 16 to 20 feet long when they are fully grown, weighing anywhere between 500 and 750 pounds on average. Now their main diet does consist of fish, but they can take down just about anything that comes around them. They'll consume up to about half of their body weight in meat at one feeding, usually eating around once a week, but they do have a very slow metabolism, which allows them to go around 8 months without any food at all if they need to. And unless they're moving to either feed or just temperature, they're usually pretty sedentary. They won't move around a whole lot. Over to the right-hand side is a baobab tree. Now, baobab trees can live up to 2,500 years. They'll stay leafless 9 months each year to conserve water. Holds close to 30,000 gallons of water in that tree. Now during droughts and dry seasons, animals can get water from the baobab tree. The bark is very sponge-like. Animals just lick or nibble on the bark to get water out, which is why it is also called the tree of life. Now we are going to head down into the African savanna, home to some of the most iconic animals in Africa. These wide open spaces, they are perfect for the large herds that migrate through. We have some of the world's fastest land animals in these wide open spaces for speed, and some of the world's largest land animals as well. But the first ones we're going to talk about don't actually fit into any of those categories. These are Angoli cattle here to the right, also called Watusi for the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. And they are the only domesticated animal here on our reserve. Now their horns can get up to 6 feet long, but there is a honeycomb-like structure inside of their horns that they circulate their blood through. It releases the heat from their body to help them stay cooler. Over to the left-hand side in the den, there are some African wild dogs, also called painted dogs for their splotchy colored coat. Now they are the #1 hunter of mammals in Africa. They have an 80 to 90% success rate on their hunts. They'll actually take turns chasing their prey until their prey literally drops from exhaustion. Each dog can run 3 to 4 miles at about 35 miles an hour without slowing down. They have absolutely incredible stamina. Now they are diurnal animals. It means they do their hunting during the day. They're active during the day. They rely heavily on their eyesight for their hunting. Now they are members of the dog family. Now they don't bark though, not like your regular house dog. They kind of do this little chirruping sound to communicate with one another. They can tell who is who from about a mile away due to their distinctive coat markings. They live in small packs led by an alpha male and female who are the primary the alpha male and female are the primary breeders of the pack. They are pack oriented. They do what's best for the pack and not what is best for the individual. Even when they're moving along, they will only go as fast as the slowest one can go, which means if one of them is injured, they will never be left behind. They're one of the most endangered animals out here. They are critically endangered. There's only around 5,000 left alive today. It actually pose no threat to humans.
See them? They're all snuggled down, staying warm and dry.
It's just a big, huge cuddle puddle. That's what I like to call it.
Look at them, snuggled.
Over to the left-hand side, the brown antelopes or sable antelopes. They're the emblem here of the Harambe Reserve. Now, in a fight or flight situation, they'll always fight back. They'll use those long horns to knock off predators that try to jump onto their backs. They'll also defend their territory against the other, what would be considered prey animals, which is why some of them are intently watching these wildebeest and zebras. Now, the gray antelopes are wildebeest, and we have Hartman's mountain zebra here as well. We do have a baby zebra right there in the middle. He's only about 10 months old. Now, right after he was born, he did this thing called imprinting. He actually just memorized what mom's stripe pattern is. So no matter how many zebras are around, he's going to know who and where mom is at all times, no matter what. And they are Hartman's mountain zebras. They have white bellies. Their stripes do not go all the way around. We have Maasai giraffe here. Maasai giraffe have spots that have jagged, irregular edges to them. Most other giraffe species have smooth edges on their spots. They are the tallest land animal. They can stand upwards of 20 feet tall when they are fully grown, but averaging only around 6 feet tall at birth. Now we do have two that are leaning down over there to get a drink of water. Now the one kind of hard. The one that's at the base of the hill. Okay, the one that's leaning down now. That's actually the youngest one here. He is almost 9 months old. He was 5 feet 11 inches tall. When he was born, weighed 178 pounds.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Which is kind of a good thing because the
I
first
just
thing he
hope
experienced
this. I
was about a
grabbed.
6 foot drop to
Hold
the
on.
ground. Because mom does not give birth laying down. She only will give birth standing up. Now they'll spend around 16 to 20 hours every day eating or looking for food to eat. And only about an hour truly sleepy.
He's trying to get his legs.
They don't even sleep all at one time. They'll just take short naps throughout their day. Now, the wildebeest, they form one of the largest migrating herds on Earth. Up to 1.5 million will gather together. And they'll migrate close to 1,000 miles every year in search of food and water. The small tan and white antelopes to the right-hand side on the top of that hill are springbuck. Very fun word to say, springbuck. Now they are fully grown. They only stand 2 to 3 feet tall. But don't let their small size fool you. They are actually one of the fastest animals out here. They can reach speeds between 50 to 60 mile an hour. Almost as fast as cheetahs. Now when they're running, they do this thing called pronking. They can jump up to 6 feet high and 13 feet forward just in one smooth jump. Now when they are running at full speed and start pronking, they'd be able to jump through our truck from side to side. Now as we head through this area, oh my goodness, there's an elephant up here. Now fully grown African elephants are the world's largest land animal. The full males can weigh up to 15,000 pounds. Now the one here, he is not fully grown, judging by his size. I'll age him at around 12 years old, give or take a year or two. So still part of the mother matriarchal herd, just learning some independence and moving slowly along behind them. So we'll move on up to see if we can find mom and the rest of his family. Now, elephants are highly poached for their ivory tusks, but they face other dangers as well, especially from farmers, just due to habitat losses. Now, farmers will plant their fields in elephant country, and as elephants wander looking for food and water, they'll walk through the fields, accidentally tearing them up with their feet or eating the crops. Now, the farmers, understandably upset, it is their main source of income. But to keep their fields safe, farmers hunt and poach the elephants. Now, here on the reserve, we do everything we can to help aid in animal conservation. So we teamed up with researchers and conservationists, and by studying the herd here on our reserve, we've actually discovered that elephants are scared of honeybees. So we went to Kenya. We talked to farmers there who helped us with an experiment, and honestly all they did was just put honeybee hives around their fields, but it worked. When the elephants would walk close to the fields, they'd hear the buzzing of those bees. They'd walk around the fields instead of through them. So now the farmers are happy, their fields are safe, and they're no longer hunting the elephants. And the farmers, well, they have the added benefit of being able to sell the honey from the hives to help supplement their income. It's called the Elephants and Bees Project. Now we're trying to get as many farmers involved in the Elephants and Bees Project as possible. Oh, we have elephants to the left. Now, we're trying to get elephants to, the poaching of the elephants to decline. We need their numbers to rise, but they're actually poached at a much higher rate than they can reproduce. Now, they are keystone species in Africa, very important to the environments and ecosystems that they travel through. Now, for example, throughout their lifetime, elephants can travel for hundreds of miles, and every single day they'll consume up to a couple of 100 pounds of vegetation. Now, within the vegetation, there are seeds and roots from what they've been eating, and as they travel, they will drop their dung. As the dung dries out, it actually releases the seeds and roots back to the environment, helping to create new growths of vegetation wherever the elephants go. Now, the dung itself is very important to the soil. As it decomposes, it does provide a lot of nutrients back to the soil. It fertilizes it, making sure we have healthy growths of vegetation. So we do have the mother or matriarchal herd here. Female-led, consisting of closely related females and their young. Think like mothers, daughters, sisters, etc. Now the girls will stay with the herd that they are born to. The